Hello everyone, it's Joe here from Draft FPL. Welcome back to a weekly series helping you find some good value free agents and waiver pickups for Draft FPL. Game week 26, we've got a couple of blanks to negotiate this week. I'm sure there'll be people scrabbling on the waivers to find some good pickups, so let's see what we can do. First up in defence, we've got Max Kilman available in 45% of leagues, and that data is powered by draftfc.co.uk as always. Link down below in the description. Use code SNAKEDRAFT for a month's free trial. The Wolves defence this week is like the absolute waiver perfect storm. So according to my clean sheet percentages that I get from the bookies odds, Wolves are top this week. They're the most likely team to have a clean sheet. Sheffield United at home. So they've got the fixture. They've got 5 defenders available that are all reasonably widely available. They've got a settled back line. It's an absolute dream week. I'll probably be looking to pick up 2 per team, I would have thought. And that's not really because I think they're guaranteed to get a clean sheet, but when the odds are in your favour and you can pick up the most likely team to keep a clean sheet this week, I think you've absolutely got to go all in on that. So the players that are available, you've obviously got Kilman, as I've put on here. He is, I think, probably my favourite of the 5. He's absolutely the most nailed. Although they're all pretty nailed, I would be surprised if any of them don't play. But Kilman is absolutely 100% first choice. He's good on bonus. He's got decent threat from set pieces. So he is probably my favourite. Next, I think I'd go for Semedo. He's available in 84% of leagues. And from that wing-back role, he gets forward a little bit more than the rest of them. Again, I don't see any reason why he won't start. Then Dawson available in 75%, Totti available in 94%, and Aït-Nouri also available in 94%. Aït-Nouri probably has a little bit more attacking threat than Dawson and Totti, but there's a tiny, slight more chance that he will be rotated, although I don't think he will. I think it will be those 5 that start. All 5 are good picks, and I will be going for as many as I can this week. The other part of it is that they've got Newcastle away in 27, which isn't ideal, and then 28-29, Fulham at home, Bournemouth at home, which is, absolutely brilliant. That Bournemouth at home fixture is potentially going to be a blank. I think it is reasonably likely because both Wolves and Bournemouth are both still in the FA Cup, so if either of them win their 5th round tie, that will be a blank. But just for Sheffield United at home and Fulham at home in 26 and 28, definitely worth it. Next up, we've got Clement Longley, available in 86% of leagues. Villa's got a little decent run of fixtures here. Longley looks like he's pretty much guaranteed to start. I don't really see anyone else coming in for his position while Concert is injured. So Forest at home, Luton away in 26 and 27, really good fixtures. Tottenham at home in 28 is not great. And then West Ham away in game week 29. Game week 29 is going to be a big blank game week, and Villa's game against West Ham is guaranteed to be on. So it is handy to have a Villa defender now for this run and guarantee a player for game week 29. Next up then is Munoz of Palace, available in 98% of leagues. Palace have parted ways with Roy Hodgson. They've got a new manager coming in, and I think we could see a little bit of turn in fortunes for Palace. We often see that when a new manager comes in, especially when it's coupled with decent fixtures. And the 2 home games coming up, Burnley at home in 26, Luton at home in 28, are absolute prime new manager bounce material. So I fancy Palace to do okay in those 2. You'd think, especially defensively, I feel like that's the first thing that managers look at when they come in. How can we lock it down? Munoz is going to be playing wing back, I'm pretty sure. The new manager likes to play 3 at the back with wing backs, so I'd be surprised if he doesn't keep his place. And so with a bit of attacking threat, clean sheet potential in 2 of the next 4, I think he's a decent pick. On to midfielders, and first up, I've picked him so many times and it's gone wrong all season long, but he is an absolute favourite of mine, so when it looks like a good time I just have to put him in. Available in 86% of leagues, Jacob Ramsey. Is Forest at home, Luton away, as I just spoke about with Longley, and that game in 29 is definitely going to be on. West Ham away. Ramsey's been playing on the left side of that kind of the more inverted of the wide players in the Villa setup, and he does really well at it. He's not really reaped the attacking returns yet, but we know how prolific he can be when he gets in form, and with these fixtures coming up, I fancy him to do quite well. So I'm ready to be hurt again. I'm gonna back him, and I'm gonna go straight back in for him, and we'll see if I get my fingers burnt. Next up is Sarabia, available in 92% of leagues. Sheffield United at home this week. It's the absolute plum fixture, as I spoke about earlier with the defenders. With the Cunha injury, it looks pretty much certain to me that it's going to be Neto, Hwang and Sarabia in a front three probably till the end of the season. I think he's actually probably quite a good pick if he's guaranteed to play, especially when the fixtures are as good as they are over the next four. Sheffield United at home and Fulham at home in 26 and 28. Fantastic. I want to get as many pieces of that attack as I can for those two fixtures, and Sarabia, if he's going to be playing, which it looks like he definitely will be, is a pretty good pick in my opinion for those two. And even Newcastle away in 27, from an attacking point of view, Newcastle's defence is horrendous, so I'd back any of the Wolves attackers in that fixture anyway. Next up, Simon Adingra, available in 83% of leagues. Back fit and firing for Brighton. He made a real impact in their game last week, so I would expect him to be first choice going forward. I think he's a big step up on Buonanotte, and looking at their fixtures coming up, Everton at home, Fulham away, Forest at home in the next three, I'd really like to get on board with the Brighton attack if I can, and if he's free and he's going to be starting and they've got those fixtures, I'm all aboard. So yeah, he did well for me earlier in the season, got the injury. I'm definitely going to be going back in for him and hope he can recapture some of that form. I mean, he looked really sharp at the weekend, so hopefully he can continue with that. Next up, Callum Hudson-Odoi, available in 87% of leagues. Forest fixtures look a little bit ropey on first glance. Villa away, Liverpool at home, Brighton away, Luton away. They don't scream out as like fantastic fixtures, but the more I look at them, the more I think this run can actually really suit Hudson-Odoi, because the one thing that all three of Villa, Liverpool and Brighton have in common, all three of them play a high line, and Forest under Nuno have been sitting deep looking to spring on the counter, and Hudson-Odoi is perfect for that. And I think he could have a little bit of joy in these three. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a couple of attacking returns on the counter-attack in these fixtures. A note on game week 29, as I've been mentioning, it is a blank game week. The game against Luton is not yet confirmed. Both Forest and Luton are still in the FA Cup, but I think off the top of my head, I think one is playing United and one is playing City, so there is a decent chance they could both lose that, and that game would then be on. If that's the case, then it's a great time to pick him up if you can spring a couple of attacking returns in these tougher fixtures to then walk into Luton at home when everyone else has got a blank. Just a quick note on game week 29, we will know the outcome of the FA Cup results before the game week 27 waiver deadline. So it's only really for this week. We need to gamble. By next week's waivers, we'll know who plays and who doesn't in game week 29. On to forwards then. First up, Danny Welbeck, available in 32% of leagues. Been on form since he came back. Looks really good. I still can't really get my head around how he is better than Evan Ferguson, but he is, and you just have to accept it. Basically, for the last 2 years, every time he plays, I've been thinking, he's going to lose his spot, Ferguson's going to be in. But it's not really happened for Ferguson this season. He's been really disappointing, but Welbeck has taken advantage, back from injury and looking really sharp. So these next three fixtures, definitely going to try and snag him if he is free in any of my leagues. I'm not sure if he is, but I'm definitely going to try and get him if that is the case. 32% is not bad ownership for a forward. So I'm going to definitely try and get him, because there's loads of problems in the forward slot in my teams at the moment. The likes of Cunha, João Pedro. I've got injuries all over the place. Finally then, another forward. I didn't want to put him in because I think he's rubbish. Antonio, available in 44% of leagues, fit, started last week, played really poorly though and got subbed off. Is there a chance he doesn't start? Definitely, but the fixtures are good. Brentford at home, Everton away, Burnley at home in the next three, and they do play in game week 29 in that game against Villa. So Antonio's such a strange player. He's so streaky. Once he gets a bit of form and a bit of confidence, he looks like a different animal. and really goes on runs, but he will then blank for like 25 game weeks in a row and then get injured. So he's a nightmare to own. I really don't want to have to pick him up, but I feel like, as I said, I've got forward problems and I probably will have to go for him in a couple of leagues just hope that he finds a bit of form. But yeah, I mean, there's a chance that Bowen could go back through the middle, and Antonio could be on the bench. It wouldn't surprise me, to be honest, but I think he's probably worth the punt just because of the fixture run and the fact they definitely play in 29. And I've got so many problems of players that are definitely out that I'm probably just going to have to go for him and just lump it. Okay, that wraps up my picks for game week 26. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, check out the Patreon in the link down below, check out draftfpl.co.uk. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.